Hi, my name is Ray. I'm one of the flight instructors here at Bismarck Aero Center. Today what we're going to talk about is the principles of flight. What are the principles of flight? Well, the principles of flight actually are the aerodynamics that are working on an airplane while it flies. As you see around me, I have a couple airplanes, so I'm going to demonstrate to you what the principles of flight actually do and how it works. You might not know yet, but there's a couple of laws that Newton has come up with. And what we're going to talk about is Newton's third law. What is Newton's third law? Remember this: for every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. So we're going to talk about that with airplanes. In my hand, I have an airplane, okay? So we're going to talk about the four forces that work on an airplane: thrust, weight, lift, and drag. So the first force we're going to talk about is thrust, basically the airplane being propelled through the air, okay? Anytime the airplane moves, of course, it's moving forward. That's the thrust. The thrust is going through the air. With that, you're also going to have drag. Drag is the opposite reaction. So while the plane is moving forward through the air, you're also going to have that other force of drag trying to slow it down, bring it back. Things like the wings, okay? That's creating, when you stick your hand outside your parents' car and you put it out and the wind is hitting it, you know how the wind is pushing your hand back? That's drag. Same thing with the airplane. The airplane is creating its own drag, so it's slowing down. These forces need to be opposite each other for the airplane to fly correctly. One of the other forces is weight. Okay, so your airplane, every airplane weighs, it's heavy. Okay, people get in it, it's heavy. Fuel's put on it, it's heavy. So what happens is your airplane has a little bit of weight to it. So you need something to counteract or be opposite the weight of the airplane. What that is lift, and we're going to get into lift in a demonstration in a couple minutes, okay? But if your airplane has out of sync any one of these four forces, if the thrust is outdoing the drag or the weight is heavier than the lift, it's going to make the airplane do something. When the airplane is flying nice, straight, and level, basically all the forces are in sync at once. If you have more thrust, you're picking up speed and flying faster. If you pull your throttle, you're going to be slowing down. There's more drag than thrust. Okay. Also, when you pull your throttle out, you're going to increase the weight. You're reducing the lift of the airplane. So while you're reducing the lift, your airplane's going to start sinking. Okay. Thrust, drag, weight, and lift. Okay. Those are the four forces working on your airplane. Now, put this down. Lift. Lift is probably one of the most important things that happens with an airplane. What creates lift? Well, anytime you have airflow over the wing or the airfoil, okay, you're decreasing the pressure. When the pressure decreases on the wing, that's creating lift because you have more pressure underneath. Let me demonstrate something to you real quick. You see me, you have this little piece of paper here, okay? So what I'm going to demonstrate is if I blow on this piece of paper, what I'm doing is I'm increasing the air across the top of this paper. When I increase the air across the top of the paper, it's lowering the air pressure. So when the air pressure lowers, the paper should come up because I got more pressure on the bottom. Let's see if this works. As you see, the paper comes up a little bit. Okay, basically, I'm increasing the airflow over the top of this, decreasing the pressure, which is making the paper come up. Same thing happens with the airplane. When the airplane picks up speed and goes faster, you got more wind, more air coming across the top of the airplane. When it comes across the top of the airplane, you have more pressure underneath. The airplane wants to climb. That's creating the lift. So that fourth force, lift, is going to outweigh weight. So when you're climbing up, all that lift, you got lift and you got your forward force there, and that's outweighing your drag and your weight. That's how an airplane climbs. Okay? Thrust and lift is outdoing your weight and your drag. Now, for my next demonstration, once again, I'm going to show you how increasing air over an item makes the pressure underneath raise up, and you're going to see what happens when I do this. Don't try this at home, kids. air, making it go up. Same thing in an airplane. Increase that airflow over the wings. The bottom wants to go up, and that's how you get an airplane to fly. So you can try, if with your parents' help, you can try this at home, should I say. And also, no, never mind, I'm not going to bring that up about Halloween and TPing a house or nothing like that. So we're going to let that one go. But anyway, so you also can try this at home, and you can also see how aerodynamics will work on things at your house also. Okay, so if you would like to become a flight student, the best way to do it is, first thing is you have to be of age. Okay, that's the first thing to make sure. Now, I've had a student that is actually 13 years old and has actually started flying. So you can really start, once you start hitting your teens is when you can start flying. The problem is that you can't solo until you're actually 16. So there are some rules that we have to follow before you're able to actually solo and get your license. But if you want to start learning, by all means, it's real easy to do. First thing we have to do is get you signed up. Once we get you signed up, it's just all about studying, just like you're doing in school now. All about reading books, getting into books. Even some of the stuff is computer-based, CBTs. You can also go on the computer and do things like that. If you would like to learn how to fly and you're trying to figure out where to go, what's the first thing, how do I start doing this? The first thing you need to do is find your local airport. Call your local airport. Call over to the FBO. Ask around. Ask them, do they have flight instructors? More than likely they do. When you find that flight instructor, they're going to help you out. They're going to take care of you. They're going to point you in the right direction. They'll give you those books. They'll give you the right info. They'll start you on the path to get your pilot's license. Most airports, have flight instructors. Just go look up your local flight instructor. And the reason why I started flying is, like you, I was just that kid that had the airplanes hanging from the ceiling. And, I seen airplanes all the time. I went to the air shows and seen the Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds, and I was always just fascinated with airplanes. So once I got old enough, I just said, you know what, that just might be fun. And the only thing you have to do is just ask the question. If you ask the question, you will be able to become a pilot. A lot of folks, what they don't do is they don't ask the questions, and they sit back and say, oh, I wish I would have learned how to fly, but they never inquired about it. You have to ask the question to be able to start flying. And what I like most about flying is the people. You meet a variety of different people all the time when you fly, because you're not going to be just sitting at home. You're going to be going state to state or maybe town to town, meeting different people. You can even go to different towns just to have lunch. It's really a lot of fun. I would like to thank you guys sitting there, watching this, because without you, aviation would not grow. You are the future for aviation. So I would like to thank you and encourage you to come look at an airplane. You can even come over to the airport, call your local airport and say, hey, can I just come look at the airplanes? I guarantee you, your flight instructor would love to just show you airplanes, let you sit in it, let you move the controls. So please, don't be shy about that. Ask the flight instructor, call up, go see an airplane, go to your local airport, and guarantee you, you'll be happy you did.